Brother Kapaya Yash, back with another lesson. I'd like to start off by giving all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kodash, and double honor to the men of Great Millstone that is out there on the highway and byway, pushing this truth day in and day out, also pushing this truth over the worldwide internet, reaching for the elect to pull them out of a two-thirds state of mind so that we can be beamed up on those chariots of salvation to live in the kingdom under King David and the supreme King Yahushua, which is the title of command and the authority and rulership over heaven and earth. Those title was given to Yahushua by his father Yahweh. Also, I'm not a member of GMS, but I believe GMS has the 100% truth of the Bible to the Akim and Aqua, which are the men and women that are listening, learn, and continue to pray for more faith, repent, and fast, and keep the laws and commandments to the best of your ability, as it states in John 14:15. If ye love me, keep my commandment. Also, Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. I want to talk a little bit about J.R. Wisdom. He's a pretty level-headed brother. He did a article. Well, he's going over this particular article that you see here, where it says, "Are white people really this? Growth." You see at the top, this is growth, and this Edomite chick, she go in on her own people. She's showing pretty much she's raising up that skirt of shamefulness, which Esau always loved to, show our shame all over the world. Showing black mothers as the biggest welfare recipients, here in the United States. But we know now that is the Edomite woman, and the Tinkerbell hats, that receive billions of dollars every year. They the biggest welfare recipients, but they want to put us, put shame on us as we the one, always with the handout, right? So this woman here exposed her own people of not being clean. It says, look at the bottom here. It says cleanliness is next to godliness, and we know Esau, he is nowhere near Yahweh Bashem Shai. He want to be a god in the earth. He's not doing the work of Yahweh Bashem Shai. He only doing the work of Yahweh Bashem Shai on the left hand side, being of the wicked, and that's it. So I'm gonna go and play this video, but let's start off with this fair use sign here. Salakia, that's not what I want. I thought I had it here. Let me go ahead and Salakia. Fair use is a provision in U.S. copyright law that allows the limited use of copyright material without the copyright holder's permission for purpose used as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. So I'm not making any profit off of this, off of J.R. Wisdom video, just going through scriptures. So we're going to start this video. This is gross.
As a white woman on Black TikTok and as a white woman who has visited, I think I'm at like 20 countries at this point, the whole concept that white Americans are not as cleanly as maybe other races or other cultures, it is true. Now, before all the white people come for me, obviously this is not the case for every single white person. It doesn't even have to be the case for you. But as someone who has friends of all races and has lived in and visited numerous different cultures, like white Americans have a very unique concept of cleanliness. Just to give an example, I ran into my neighbor today and I was like, oh my God, I love you wearing a hat. She just looks so cute with a hat. And she was like, oh yeah, I threw it on because I didn't feel like showering the last few days. That's actually kind of normal. That's actually not an abnormal thing in white culture. That is like completely normal and definitely something I grew up doing. You would not shower every single day. And I saw another white woman break down this whole thing, and it was so interesting. And she said, I'll have to find it, but she said something about like growing up, they'd be like, oh, well, if you swam in the pool or the lake, like you don't need a shower. Like, I'm pretty sure I was told that sentiment as well. Just the whole ideas around cleanliness are so
Shalaki for that. Back to the video.
different. Now, I'm also coming from a background of the South, so Alabama, Georgia, Florida are where I've spent a lot of my time. I've traveled all over the world, and for example, I was just in Tokyo for a few weeks, and they are just so much more clean. They wash and shower and wash their actual hair every single day.
I'm gonna pause her real quick because this is a 4-minute video, so I'm just stopping halfway just to give my thoughts on this, because I've covered I think like 2 or 3 videos on this, and you did have some white folks in the comments that weren't too pleased about it or happy about it, but it is something that these were videos I was playing where, just like her, they were saying no, like I don't wash like that. I don't even if I do take a shower, I don't use soap or a washcloth. And they were like, what is a washcloth? Like,
now we're gonna stop right there. Like I said, you already have a gist of what's of what's this video going to be about. These people here, they do not believe in bathing correctly the right way. Let's go into the scripture now. We're going to go to let me go out of here with Jeremiah 2:22. And even even the Lord
need some extra cash. Turn your
Salaki for that. So I'm gonna start. I'll start at 20, and this is talking about the sin of our people. So let me just read this here. The sovereign Lord said, Israel, long ago you rejected my authority. You refused to obey me and worship me. On every high hill and under every green tree you worship for fertility God. I plant you like a choice vine from the very best seed, but look what you have become. You are a rotten, worthless vine. So the nation of Israel going off praising other gods, not following the laws and commandments, and most definitely not praying to the higher power, which is Yahweh, Bashim Shai. We supposed to give praise to Him. So we was engulfed with sin. That's why He had said that you are like a rotten, worthless vine to Him. It says in 22, even if you wash with the strongest soap, I will still see the stain of your guilt. So he said, it doesn't matter how much soap you use to wash your body, I can still see the sin that's in you. So what I'm trying to say is the Heavenly Father, He's for us washing our bodies. He is for us to be clean. Because when you go into Leviticus 15, bear with me.
Okay, so for 50.
Yeah, I accidentally hit the stop button and video went off. But you can read in Leviticus 15, which they talk about the law concerning bodily discharge. And you having people that don't believe in bathing with soap. They just jump in the shower, jump in the tub with just water. Just like the woman said, they really didn't. They don't know too much of anything about washcloth. You know, now they have heard of soap, but soap is not big in their vocabulary. It's not. I don't want to say all, but from what this woman here is saying, majority of her people don't really use soap nor washcloth. They just jump in the pool, as what you just heard of her, heard her say, or just let water run over them, and that's that, you know. But when you read Leviticus 15, it tells you about discharge. Because women, they have a discharge. Men, they have a discharge, and men and women, if they living together, of course they're gonna have sex. You gotta clean yourself, and this is the law on discharge. And let me just read here. It said the Lord gave Moses and Aaron the following regulation. And now I'm just reading this out. Now, even though Esau, he is he's none of our people, and the Heavenly Father, he hate Esau, but this just to show that Esau, he's off. He is none of Yahweh Bashimashai people, and he gonna do what he want to do. He want to live uncleanly, ungodly, and we are not supposed to live this way. Once you and your woman get together, you supposed to, after everything's said and done, you supposed to wash up, clean up with soap, get a wash towel, scrub your ass, drench your body in the tub or a shower, you know, clean between legs, clean in between your butt cheeks, clean between your toes, wash your hair, you know. So check this out. Um, the Lord gave Moses and Aaron the following regulation for the people of Israel. When any man has a discharge from his penis, the discharge is unclean, whether the penis run with it or is stopped up by it. Any bed on which he sit or lies is unclean. Anyone who touches bed or sit on anything the man has set must wash his clothes and take a bath, and he remain unclean till evening. And also, like I said, it go to a woman also that is on her cycle. She's supposed to be out of the house, but we are not fortunate to have two houses. We're not and then some people might say, well, you put in a hotel room. Listen, we don't have money like that to be paying bills and mortgage or, whatever, car notes, insurance, and then all of a sudden once a month we got to go put her into a hotel for a whole week. The Heavenly Father is showing us mercy, but when we get into the kingdom, our women are not going to go through that. It's just the heathen women, Esau women, they going to go through that. Our women not. But during the time of when we was in our rulership and our kingdom under King Saul and King Solomon, King David and stuff like that, we kept the laws and commandments, to the best of our ability. But a woman, she had to go, out to the cottage, some type of cottage house or whatever, where her handmaid will bring her food, bring what she need or whatever, you know. So, and then, she had to wash herself. She couldn't come back until she get clean. She had to, bathe, wash, soap. Dry your body. You know. Let me just read this here. It said, verse 5, anyone who touches bed or sit on anything the man has set on must wash his clothes and take a bath, and he remain clean until evening. Anyone who touched the man with the discharge must wash his clothes and take a bath, and he remain unclean until evening. If a man with a discharge spit on anyone who is ritual clean, that person must wash his clothes and take a bath. He remain unclean until evening. So pretty much, if this man, pretty much what it is, take a bath, wash your ass. That's pretty much what it is. And these people here, which is of the Edomite, this Edomite woman here that you see, she have the same personality or ways of Esau. Because Esau, he is the type. He though he really don't like bathing. I mean, check this out, and I know a lot of men have seen this before. You see, um, a Edomite man go into the restroom. Y'all both go in the same time. You go to the store, he go to the store. You finish, he finish, and you go. You wash your hand, he leave out, or he take a dump. He don't even wipe himself. He just flush and walk up out that joint. You know, I'm just saying. Some people say, "Well, how will you know?" Listen, you can hear the tissue being torn. From the tissue roll. You go back, you get another tissue. You get 4 or 5 tissue. You can hear it. You can hear the tissue being torn. This guy here, once he drop, you can hear him drop and hit that plunger. He pulls his pants up and he walks straight out. See, this is a beast, but they call us a beast. And I'm sure women have experienced Edomite women, doing the same thing, the same exact thing. That's what you call gross.
Or if they do use soap, they just do it real quick like this right here. And there were a lot of people saying that, and actually having conversation or laughing at the idea of what is a washcloth? Why would I use a cloth? Which is common, as she said, it is pretty common, and just not to bathe like that. Work out, come jump into bed, clap cheeks, and with all that funk, and just imagine laying.
See, that's what I'm saying. You clapping cheek. That's what Leviticus 15 go into. Let me just go to that right quick, so hopefully it will take me to it. It says here. Yeah, here it is right here. It says, after sexual intercourse, both man and the woman must take a bath, and they remain unclean till evening. And then they go in verse 19, talk about the woman on her cycle, on her period. You know, so it's all about taking the bath. These people here, they are against taking a bath. It's like it's something hard for them to do, or it's just too much.
And next to a woman like that, man. You know what I mean? I guess you get used to it. So
Now let me add this here. Now, when it's us, because I've seen old men, or old women, or just, you don't have to be old, but the deal is I've came across some people of my own that didn't take baths or whatever, and they have a home or apartment, whatever. Something, you best believe something is mentally wrong with that person. Something is mentally wrong with that person. But the average Eve and Jake, we're gonna take that bath sometime 3 times a day, you know, and that's just but these Edomites, this is damn near like a hole, and this coming from this woman's mouth.
It is pretty disgusting, especially, and I get it. You guys probably like, well, we didn't always have baths and showers and stuff like that, but now you do. Now you do. It only takes, you could literally jump in there, set the timer for 2 to 3 minutes. Get your cloth, hit the spots real quick. At least you did that instead of just saying screw it. Let some, how they say, let some water touch your body, man. Like, yo. But let's go ahead and get into the actual the rest of the clip. Let's go. Net credit is here to let's go.
And I know, by the way, that there's a lot of different cultures that do different things. Like, not all hair types need to be washed every single day. But I'm just saying, out of all the cultures that I have been friends with, or I have visited or lived in, us whites are really unique. And out of all my black friends, like, there's a reason that on here, black women talking about body care and like different things they use, it's because black women like really take it to another level. Like, black women are some of the cleanest women I have ever met and take very, very good care of themselves. The skin is always skinning. And I've seen some people.
Now, she said the skin is always skinny, meaning pretty much, she talking about the black woman that, she used, skin cream, she used, stuff that enhances and beautify her body, from like this skin cream to perfume, and I know a lot of women that say that they bath, a lot of times 3 times a day, especially, here in Houston, it be so hot. Yeah, you have to bathe sometimes 3 times a day. It be so hot. But the women, they love their skin cream, cocoa butter, stuff like that. And it enhances the skin, to be smooth. And that's part of our nature. You go to Genesis 27, and this talking about Jake, that he's you call a clean man, uh, dwelling in the tent, while Esau, he's for that. I'm thinking some Esau got something to do with me being disconnected, because I know I didn't hit that button now. I just hit the arrow button and it just clicked off. But anyway, we're gonna go with this here. We'll make this here quick. Bullshitting. So, Shalakia, I done said a mouthful, so let me just go back to where I left off at, and where it says that uh, uh, Jacob was telling Rebecca that that he was telling his mother that his skin is smooth, and Jacob, brother is hairy. So going back to, I said, the black woman with the cream for her skin, to make it smooth and beautiful and stuff like that. So we always had smooth skin. It says here, but Jacob said to his mother, "You know that Esau is a hairy man, but I have smooth skin." You know, So let's go to Genesis 25 and 27. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter and a man who loved the outdoors. And you have been outdoors all day and you hunting from sun up to sundown. You're gonna have a wild tame smell about yourself. You know, and it says it. But Jacob was a quiet man who stayed at home. He dwelt in tents. Not saying that you can't get no body odor by sitting at home, but the person that been outdoors all day hunting, for deer or for whatever Esau loved, eat alligator, but whatever. He's gonna be out there in the midst of those wild beasts, and guess what? He's gonna come home smelling like them, and they already don't believe in taking baths, so that's disgusting. You know. Esau have always been like Esau do not love to bathe. You know, not all. Let me beg back, not all, because you do have some that do bathe, but majority of them, from what this woman going by, from what this woman is saying, do not. Give me 1 second. Okay, back to the video.
Really take it to another level. Like, Black women are some of the cleanest women I have ever met and take very, very good care of themselves. The skin is always skinning. And I've seen some people break down like why this is, that white people like do not shower every day or aren't as into their hygiene, and I have a personal take on it. I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but I haven't seen it. But I really feel like it's this idea that white people have that they are just innately cleaner than like everybody else. Like, white people are just clean. We're just so clean. And that's the reason that.
And it's because of their social construct. When they labeled them as being white and pure and clean, white as snow, painting their images as gods and stuff like the angels, and they precious. Yeah, that's why they feel like, well, I don't have to bathe. I'm already clean. You know, but for as black, you evil, you dirty, void of light, criminal, villain. You know, just dust. I hate to say dusky. you know, and they feel. I mean, that's pretty much what she was. Was saying. Because of what they was brought up, that they better than everybody.
A lot of white people feel like they don't need to shower every day or every other day, or I don't even know how much. And simultaneously, I think that some of those white people also view like other races to not be cleanly, but they literally view their whiteness as cleanliness.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with like some white people like feeling like whiteness is pure and clean and better than and whatever. I feel like maybe that's the root of it, but that's just my take. And also, as someone who's dated a variety of races, like, I like every person. I more like the person for who they are. Of all the men I've dated, I will honestly say I feel like, unfortunately, white men struggle the most with their hygiene.
Nope.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. If you want to watch the rest of it, you can. This is by J.R. Wisdom. Are white people really this pretty much disgusting? Let me go to like I said, this is this Bible app that I'm using. This the what is it? The Good News Bible, and I want to go into Job, if I can find it. Come on, where we at? So Job 30. This app here have too much stuff going on. But anyway, Job 30, and I'm gonna do some skipping. It says that, but men younger than I This Job 31. But men younger than I make fun of me now. But men younger than I am make fun of me now. Their fathers have always been so worthless that I won't let them help my dogs guard sheep. So I should go ahead and just read that, and let me read that in this other Bible here, Salakia. Job is telling you how disgusting this Edomite man is. It says here, but now they that are younger than I have me in division, whose father would I have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. See, Esau, he would mess with your dogs. He would defile himself with your dogs, even the women laying down having sex with the dog, and letting the dog pretty much get a discharge, and that discharge fall on those women. And if they don't take baths like this Edomite woman say every day, you fellas, you dealing with a Edomite woman, and she got a dog, she might have some discharge from that dog on her. You better be careful. You know, just make sure that when you take a bath, she take a bath. Oh boy, let me um, let me skip down to 5. They were driven forth from among men. They carried after them as after a thief. These people here were so defiled and crazy. Our people, we had to beat them and chase them out of here like they's a thief. Verse 6, to dwell in the city of the valley and caves of the earth and in the rocks. Now they live in the cliff of the rocks in the mountain. They wasn't bathing, you know. They are not cleanly people during that time. Most definitely during that time, they wasn't cleanly. They would wear clothes that pretty much fell off their body, you know, from not washing and taking care of it, and they just let dirt and sweat and piss and shit and any type of discharge, they would just wipe it on their clothes and not take it off and wash it. If they wasn't bathing themselves, damn well they wasn't washing their clothes. Living on the ground under a bush. It's right here among the bushels. They bray under the nettles. They were gathered together. They were children of food, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Viler than the earth. Let's look up viler.
Vile.
Foul. Nasty. Nasty is not clean. Foul is not clean. Unpleasant. Bad. Disagreeable. Let's look this up right here.
Horrid.
Horrid. Very unpleasant and disagreeable. Yeah, disagreeable. Let's go. Atrocious. Horrifying, wicked. Okay. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to Republic. Extremely distasteful. Unacceptable. Yeah. This is them. Of course with their foul stench, because they wasn't washing up. See what base is. The lowest part over the edge of something, especially the part on which it rests or its support. Okay, let's keep on going. I know I saw hideous in here somewhere. Nauseating. You know, somebody smell real bad. Hey, if you stand up next to a homeless person and they even took baths in months, oh yeah, it could be nauseating.
Heinous.
Heinous. Hold on, I'm trying to find. I know I saw hideous in here. Maybe my eyes playing tricks on me, but I know I saw it. Let me see this here.
Monstrous.
Inhumanely or outrageously evil or wrong. Yeah, that's Esau. Dirty. Dirty. Dishonest. Horrible. Salakia. Dishonorable. Come on, where you at, hideous? Maybe I didn't see it there. Causing moral revulsion. He's abominable. He's very abominable. If he's not bathing himself, I'm gonna look up hideous and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna end it. Define hideous. Ugly or disgusting to look at. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. Hopefully you get a little information from this Edomite woman about her own people or being gross, not bathing, especially with not soap, and they really don't know they don't know anything about bath towels. The only thing they know is drying off, getting water and then drying off. So I'm gonna end it right there. Shalom.